Joined by two spokespersons, Adil Singh Boparai, National Spokesperson, Congress, Sanju Verma, National Spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party. Adil, to begin with you, you just heard some of the panelists earlier. We've moved to a political debate there. But the question that I had asked, it is a dichotomy, Adil. The charge is that there is a semblance of a democracy that seemingly functions, which is hollow, where elections are rigged one after the other. That is what I would think I can sum up with what we heard in Parliament from your leader, Rahul Gandhi. You had an Akhilesh Yadav as well, or a Manish Tiwari from your side. The fact is, Adil, then, in that scenario, this is what the opposition really believes, that the elections are rigged. We've come after Bihar. Bihar is, as per the opposition, a rigged election. It's a stolen election. But the seat of Jubilee Hills in Hyderabad in by-elections with the Congress one is not rigged. You've won it on your own steam. You've celebrated it. How do the twain meet, Adil? Either have the gumption and say, we don't believe in this electoral system. We will boycott the elections. Either say that, or if it is this or that, how does it even match?
Preeti, let's just step back for a moment and look at this entire issue objectively, minus and dehorse the political din. Point number one, why should the government, or for that matter, the Election Commission of India, be hesitant to share machine-readable electoral data which would be available to all political parties, including the Congress and the BJP? What could be a possible hesitation to share that? Point number one. Point number two, when the Supreme Court says that the third person of the selection panel should be the Chief Justice of India, an independent person, why does the Parliament, and particularly the government of the day, ramrod a bill bringing in the Home Minister as the veto for the purposes of selecting the chairperson and the election commissioners? Point number two. Point number three, what is it that the government is trying to hide when you provide for a legal statutory stipulation that the CCTV footages of every booth should be deleted after 45 days? Point number four, and this is very, very critical. Why is it that the government is shying away from transparency? Let's move away from tutu meme for a moment. Democracy is always an evolving process. The endeavor is to improve systems. Why is it that the BJP, with all its indignation and anxiety, trying to bulldoze legitimate demands of the opposition? And now coming to specifics, despite the SIR, you had lakhs of duplication of photographs in the Bihar voter lists. So what is the sum substance and the deduction from the so-called SIR? Number two, how can thousands and lakhs of people be registered at house number 0? This is beyond my understanding. This is honestly beyond my understanding, that how can the Election Commission of India justify...
Okay. Adil, your 2 minutes are up. I'll circle back to you. I'm going to bring in Sanju Verma into this conversation. Sanju Verma, it's a charge which, no matter how much the government might seem to suggest that it has no basis, but it is a charge which continues and it stays election after election from the opposition. They have strong issues with the electoral process right now. Is it time now, Sanju Verma, for once and for all, to have a court-monitored probe, have an investigation?
Preeti, let me address each of the concerns by the Congress party. First and foremost, machine-readable voter list. There is a judgment by the Supreme Court in 2019 in the case of Kamal Nath versus the Election Commission. And the Supreme Court, it said that machine-readable voter list tantamounts to it being edited, and there are possibilities of misuse and compromising voter privacy, and hence machine-readable voter list is not viable. This is the Supreme Court, not BJP. So much in so many words in 2019. The second, the Election Commission, Chief Election Commissioner, she said the committee shall have CJI. Now, I want to say currently the CEC, Chief Election Commissioner, is appointed by the President but selected by a 3-member committee with the Prime Minister as the chairperson. There is leader of the opposition and a youth cabinet minister. But for the next time under government, it was only Prime Minister who used to pick and choose the CEC. The leader of opposition never had that privilege. T.S. Krishnamurthy became the CEC in Feb 2004, picked by Manmohan Singh. B.B. Tandon in May 2005 picked Manmohan Singh. M. Balakrishnan in June 2006 became CEC, picked by Manmohan Singh. S.Y. Qureshi became the CEC on 30th July 2010, picked by Manmohan Singh. V.S. Sampath became the CEC on 11th June 2012, picked by Manmohan Singh. And more importantly, on 24th April 2009, Sonia Gandhi handpicked a man called Naveen Chawla. Sonia Gandhi never held a constitutional position. मतलब आप तो सब सही है. It has always been the Prime Minister of India taking the election commission. हम तो कह रहे हैं leader of the opposition will now also say, I say we are authoritarian. Come, get a life. Don't be sore losers.
Ma'am, your time is up. Your time is up. I'd suggest you correct your audio link. There's a problem with your audio. We'll circle back to you for your final 2 minutes, and I want to bring in Adil back into this conversation. Adil, you know, today the issue, the point that there is an issue with the SIR, as per the opposition says, is now since the SIR started. You've made allegations of vote chori, how elections of Haryana, Maharashtra were stolen. You've said the same thing about Bihar. You've also now, this time around in Parliament, circled back to a problem with the EVMs. EVMs were actually introduced with this basic problem where people didn't trust ballot papers, the then opposition in the time of Rajiv Gandhi itself, Adil.
Preeti, you have to understand how autocracies and oligarchies work. It is not just a mere capture of the election commission of India. There is a wholesale lock, stock and barrel capture of all institutions which constitute a bulwark or which is in a position to question the government. This includes the investigating agencies, this includes the executive, this includes the ECI, and to a great extent, this includes the media. So there is a complete or a near total capture of institutions. This is how it functions, number one. Number two, please consider this for a moment. You cannot run this country by looking at the rare side. If there was a certain set of practices in 1960 where the ECI was selected in a certain manner, it does not mean that we should not improve in 2010 or 2025. Why should the government oppose having the Chief Justice of India as the third party or the third person to select the election commissioners? It is far too important just to be left. Tomorrow, BJP will not be in power. Tomorrow, we will be in power, or vice versa. Why should the government be hesitant to have a level playing field? Number three, it is the arrogance of this government and the arrogance which was on display by the BJP spokesperson right before me. This arrogance is running this country down to the ground. The BJP is interested in discussing the 18th century, the 17th century, and the 16th century, but they're not interested in discussing unemployment. They're not interested in discussing that legal citizens, Indian citizens, are being disenfranchised. They're not interested in discussing issues which we are grappling today in 2025. And finally, Preeti, let me say this with a sense of urgency and responsibility. If we have to take this country further, if we have to strengthen institutions, then we require bipartisanship. And for that, we must...
All right, Adil, your time is up. Okay, quick 2 minutes, Sanju Verma, that's all that we have the time for now. Go ahead, final concluding statement.
Preeti, I want to read out what Justice Vikram Nath said November 2024 while listening to criticism on EVMs by the opposition, particularly a debilitated leader like Rahul Gandhi. EVMs are tampered when you lose and fine if you win. Let us be very clear, EVMs are safe, secure, user-friendly. By doubt electoral process, you cannot justify an attitude where speculations override the due process of action. So the Supreme Court has called out the of Rahul Gandhi. I don't need to say more, but I'll say when were elections held? When a man called T.N. Seshan, who was the cabinet secretary under Rajiv Gandhi, actually became the chief election commissioner and was then given the Raman Magsaysay Award. When were elections tampered? When a man called M.S. Gill became the chief election commissioner between 1996 and 2001, became the union sports minister under the Congress government in 2006, and guess what, Preeti? He was awarded the Padma Vibhushan. And elections were tampered when a man called Naveen Chawla, handpicked by Sonia Gandhi, was given Italy's award, the Mazzini Award, and was made the national icon of the year. Yes, that is the award he got. But I want to tell, the Congress spokesperson, for the first time, EVMs were used in 1998 state elections in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Delhi. Congress won all three, BJP lost all the three. We did not. First time EVMs were used in general elections in 2004 and 2009. BJP lost, Congress won. Some were not any BJP leader. I was not in there, but nobody played foil sport. And let me say one thing: if there is anybody who's undermining democracy, if there's anyone who's enjoying all sports, to be member of parliament, the expense taxpayers, and still bring down institutions, it's an anti-national called Rahul Gandhi.
All right, ma'am, your time is up. Ma'am, your time is up. Like I said, your memory is rich, but also it was your leader, Mr. L.K. Advani, in 2009 who wanted ballot papers back because he didn't trust the EVMs. But we're going to leave it at that. On that note, we're going to leave it at that. Thank you, both of you, for joining us.